Most people assume that what feels normal in the United States, large portions, wide highways, and expansive suburbs, looks the same elsewhere. What if moving to Europe changed everything, from the size of your groceries to the design of the streets? Imagine walking in central Rome. Narrow cobblestone alleys leave just enough space for cars to pass carefully. Local shops line up side by side. Restaurant meals come in measured portions. This scene stands in clear contrast to the sprawling highways and massive supermarkets of American suburbs. In this video, you'll see exactly how daily life in Europe compares to the US. 10 distinct, visible differences that go beyond tourist cliches. The insights here come directly from expat forums, real-life testimonials, and independent research, offering an unfiltered look at what truly changes for people living abroad. You'll discover what usually goes undiscussed and why these details matter for anyone considering a move. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe. Number 10. Living space. In Europe, one of the first things Americans notice is scale. Streets often wind between stone buildings and can be so narrow you could touch both sides at once. In the US, post-war planning encouraged wide roads, sometimes 6 lanes across, designed for large vehicles and easy parking. American homes average about 2,300 square feet, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. In cities like Paris or Vienna, new apartments are commonly between 500 and 900 square feet. Walk through a Parisian neighborhood and you'll see multifamily buildings, compact elevators, and smaller appliances. Most American houses stand alone with big yards, but in Europe, wall sharing and shared courtyards are more common. Grocery stores sell food in smaller packages, and vehicles are often modest hatchbacks rather than large trucks or SUVs. It's ordinary in America to drive for 8 hours and stay within one state, yet the same trip in Europe can mean passing through several countries. Even clothes sizes feel different. European large often fits like a US medium. These details can seem minor, but make daily life noticeably different. Number 9. Bathroom access. Public bathrooms are nearly everywhere in the US. Fast food restaurants, gas stations, even large stores, usually with free access. In European cities, public restrooms are harder to find and often require a purchase or a code. Many retail businesses don't provide them at all. It's not unusual to need to buy coffee before using a cafe toilet in Prague or London. Some restrooms lack toilet seats, and pay-per-use stalls are common, especially in busy city areas. Travelers typically carry tissues or paper themselves. Bathroom fixtures differ as well. Dual flush toilets are standard. One button for a light flush, one for a full to save water. Americans are used to single-handle toilets in wider stalls, which can make these spaces feel unfamiliar. Bidets are more common, especially in southern countries like Italy or Spain. Adapting to these routines is often one of the first challenges reported by Americans abroad. Number 8. Portion sizes. European meals are smaller than in the US. Fast food combos, pasta servings, and soft drinks might be half the size of US portions. Walk into a cafe and receive a lunch that would be an appetizer in Texas or the Midwest. Grocery stores sell yogurts and snacks in single-portion packs, not large family sizes. Frozen foods and snack bags are smaller, and it's rare to find jumbo versions. Processed products often have fewer artificial preservatives. A loaf of bread, for example, goes stale much faster than Wonder Bread back home. Nutrition labels in several countries use color codes or health scores to show fat, salt, and sugar content. Most ingredients are basic. Flour, water, yeast, and additives are rare. For many Americans, these smaller sizes and different ingredients seem restrictive at first, but fresher flavors lead many to prefer them over time, especially after spending time in bakeries or open-air markets. Number 7. Water service. In American restaurants, a server brings water for free unless you ask otherwise. In Europe, water is nearly always bottled and costs extra. Waitstaff ask if you prefer still or sparkling. Some restaurants will provide tap water if requested, but it's not routine and may prompt odd looks or a jug filled from the sink. Prices range widely, from $2 to $4 for a 500 milliliter bottle in cities like Paris or Rome. Plastic bottles often feature attached caps to comply with new environmental laws, a detail that stands out to most Americans. Sparkling water is common with meals compared to the US, where most people leave carbonated water on the grocery shelf. Drinks come in small glasses, often without ice. If you're used to big, iced refills, the change feels immediate. Number 6. Building age. Europe's everyday buildings are centuries old. Churches, plazas, and apartments often date back 100, 500, or even 1,000 years. You can sit in a Vienna cafe that opened before the American Revolution and walk beside Roman aqueducts built before the Renaissance. In the U.S., old often means houses built in the 1950s or city centers rebuilt since World War II. This age difference changes everyday expectations. Cities enforce strict rules on maintenance. Facades must stay true to original designs, and repairs require care for historical detail. Cars might park under frescoes painted long before electricity. Americans are surprised to see history layered into ordinary life, and this changes how people view both public space and private property. Number 5. Money habits. In the Eurozone, the euro is used instead of dollars, typically close in value but with different spending power. Dining out costs vary. A meal for two can reach $75 or higher in Norway, or fall under $30 in Portugal. Europeans pay higher taxes, often 40% to 50% of income, compared to roughly 30% in the US. In return, many public services like universal healthcare and tuition-free education are available. Coins play a larger role. 1 and 2 euro coins are commonly used for shopping and small payments. American coins are almost obsolete, with most people using credit cards or bills, even for small sums. The U.S. does mint dollar coins, but few people receive them. Tipping follows a different custom. In U.S. restaurants, tips of 15% to 20% are the standard. In Europe, a service charge is often added to the bill, and tips of 5% to 10% are appreciated but not expected. Americans report less social pressure to tip everyone, from waiters to barbers and cleaners. In Europe, payments are usually direct and end the transaction without further obligation. Number 4. Transit options. Most U.S. cities expanded around car culture. Outside of New York, Chicago, and a handful of older cities, public transit is limited. By contrast, nearly every European city with 100,000 people or more has active subways, trams, or commuter trains. High-speed trains like Italy's Frecciarossa reach top speeds of 250 mph, crossing long distances in short times. A 24-hour metro pass in Rome is about $7, or roughly $7.60. Americans used to driving everywhere must adjust to crowded train cars, standing commutes, and far less personal space, especially during morning rush hour. European metro stations may still show graffiti or see crowds, but cleaning is regular and links between suburbs and city centers are frequent. These coordinated systems are paid for largely through higher taxes, providing a convenience that's rarely matched in most of the U.S. Number 3. Smoking rules. Americans have grown used to smoking bans in public spaces, airports, and restaurants since the 1980s. Cigarette taxes are high and usage continues to drop. In much of Europe, smoking rates are higher and restrictions less universal. In many cities, it's ordinary to see people smoking at cafes, in outdoor seating, or under restaurant awnings. The legal drinking age is usually 18. In countries like Germany and Austria, beer and wine may be sold to those as young as 16. ID checks at bars are uncommon, and outside areas, many people drink alcohol in public. This more relaxed approach is different from the U.S., where alcohol is distributed carefully and even older adults are often carded. Many Americans find these looser social rules around alcohol and tobacco both freeing and concerning, depending on their priorities. Number 2. Language use. Europeans routinely speak 2 or more languages. Schools in many countries require learning at least 1 or 2 foreign languages. Places like Belgium and Switzerland have several official languages used in daily business. Many adults use English fluently, though with British vocabulary and spelling, color is written color, for example. In the U.S., nearly 78% of people speak only English. Bilingualism is concentrated among immigrant communities and their children. Americans may need to rely on translation apps and adjust to different signage or product labels. While 42 million people speak Spanish in the U.S., putting it among the largest Spanish-speaking populations in the world, European cities still switch languages more easily in daily transactions. Americans are often surprised by how smoothly shoppers, bank tellers, and police switch between 2 or 3 languages in one conversation. Number 1. Everyday systems. Measurements are a common point of confusion. Europe relies on the metric system, kilometers, kilograms, and Celsius for temperature. Americans use miles, pounds, and Fahrenheit. For example, 100 degrees C for boiling water translates to 220 degrees. A temperature that sounds mild to a European can seem cold or hot to an American. Building layouts vary as well. In Europe, the ground floor sits at street level and the first floor is above it. In the U.S., street level is called the first floor. Checking into a hotel room listed as first floor in Paris might mean climbing stairs for one level. Dress is another difference. In Europe, people often wear tailored clothes, leather shoes, and accessories even for grocery shopping or airport trips. Many Americans are used to athletic wear, sweatpants, or even pajamas in informal settings. First responders sound different too. European sirens have a rising, almost musical tone, while American vehicles use harsher, oscillating sirens. Here is a contradiction at the center of many comparisons. Americans value big spaces, efficiency, and individual choice, but this can mean giving up some public services and neighborly routines. Europeans adapt to compact cities built long before cars, sharing resources and preserving traditions, sometimes at the cost of flexibility or privacy. These differences grew out of history, limited space, older infrastructure, and a different sense of public responsibility. Once seen, these contrasts are hard to ignore. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.